the remainder of this topic rather for Spider-Man Miles Morales. All right. Do you think that Sony actually moving forward with Spider-Man Miles Morales and him having his own game, other than the fact that yeah, it was set up at the end of the Spider-Man game, but it was never really innately suggested that he would have his own game
Yeah.
because it was the whole first Spider-Man PS4 game. You were Peter Parker the whole time. At the very end cutscene, yes, you see that Miles got his powers. So everyone was kind of under the assumption that, oh, cool, Miles will be a playable character in the follow up to the series, right?
Yeah.
No one really thought,
He's
at
gonna
least
have his
no one that I ever heard was even considering that he would have his own game, like his own full game. Because initially, there were reports or some people suggesting that this Spider-Man Miles Morales game wasn't going to be a full game, and it was going to be more of like an extended kind of like DLC pack, like kind of a small like side story.
Yeah.
But Sony has indeed come out and confirmed that no, this is its own standalone game. So I mean that's cool. That's better than it being. I was worried about the initial thing. I was like, oh well, I don't.
Now he's a playable character.
Yeah, I don't want him just to be like a side story DLC like style thing. I'd rather it be a full game, especially considering how good the first Spider-Man game was.
Yeah.
I would just want another full game. So let me ask you this, Rick. With the success that the Miles Morales character has been having, starting out with Spider-Verse going on and winning the Oscar for Best Animated Feature, deservedly so. And then now Sony launching this full Spider-Man Miles Morales video game for the PS5. What do you think the chances are that Miles Morales will be appearing in a live action Spider-Man movie to some capacity, or perhaps being since Sony hasn't innately shown that the MCU Tom Holland Spider-Man Peter Parker is 100% connected to anything in the Sony world as far as Venom and Morbius goes,
Yeah.
because they we, no one really knows what the deal is with Sony and MCU right now because the Morbius trailer dropped, and if everyone remembers, there was two things that indicate that maybe they are crossing the MCU in this Venomverse over because in the Morbius trailer, you not only saw a mural of Spider-Man
I
painted
saw
on a
that.
wall, you also saw Michael Keaton's Vulture character in the prison suit that he was wearing at the end of Spider-Man: Homecoming. So maybe they are crossing it over.
Yeah.
Maybe Tom Holland's Peter Parker will meet Tom Hardy's Venom.
That would be cool.
Maybe, but what do you think the chances are with them doing so much more um, Miles Morales content that instead of fully crossing him over, or even maybe they still fully cross the MCU and Venomverse over, maybe. But what do you think about them actually just introducing Miles Morales in live action and maybe having him the central Spider-Man for Sony's live action Spider-Man world, or just having two Spider-Men on in the live action movies?
Yeah. That's hard to say. I think Miles Morales would definitely make a good live action film, like, if you were to do it correctly. Either way, I'd love to see either of them cross paths with Venom, Tom Hardy's Venom, just because I really like that character. But,
When it comes to the Venom thing, I'd really rather it be Peter Parker, but
yeah, yeah,
because Miles Morales Spider-Man kind of has his own. I wouldn't mind like if they were going to completely separate
the only
the MCU and the Venomverse. If I had to have Venom encounter a Spider-Man, and my only option was Miles Morales or Scarlet Spider or something, like I would take it. Like
yeah,
I'd still like to see Venom and Spider-Man go at it.
yeah.
So, but
I I don't know. It's tough to say. Um, I just think, Tom Hardy's Venom was a great character, and, the one thing I was gonna mention is Tom Holland's Spider-Man, such, like, a nice young kid, and Tom
mhm.
Hardy's Venom's kind of, like, the complete opposite end of that spectrum. He's, very dark and very, like
It was a very lighthearted movie though.
Venom?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
campy and funny.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
There was definitely,
mm,
yeah. I think it's more just the look of him. He's just a
right.
lot more like visually intimidating. Right.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, 100%.
I think that Tom Hardy and Tom Holland, I think they could flow well.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, like, Miles Morales is a younger character than, Peter Parker, like, typically. So,
Yeah,
it'd be even, like, if you really wanna, like, nitpick, and theory craft here, it would be honestly more odd for Miles Morales to be the Spider-Man that's going up against Venom, especially Tom Hardy's Venom, because he is so much older.
yeah,
Um, but I mean, Eddie Brock had never the age of Eddie Brock and Peter Parker have never needed to be, like, intertwined.
no,
Like, it's I don't know of any story in the comics to where, like, they have to be their characters are just completely ruined if they're not 2 years apart.
exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that doesn't Eddie Brock's a reporter, and Peter Parker's a student.
yeah.
Like, so, I mean, it doesn't really matter, like, in my opinion, if they're, like, too old or too young, but I would say the fact that, Tom Holland's character, like, still is in high school, like, if they were to bring in a live action Miles Morales, that puts his age into question more so than
He'd be
anything
like a
else.
little kid at that.
Yeah, because I mean, they could make like, even in the Spider-Man game, I guess Miles is a I don't know what the exact age was, but they're around the same age.
Yeah,
Like, Peter was, like they had Peter in, like, I don't know, I guess he was, like, an adult and, like, I think he was out of college and everything in the game, I forget, I think he was just working. Um And I think Miles was just like a college student. So, I mean, there
yeah.
was definitely an age difference there. But if Peter in like the MCU, Tom Holland's Peter is still in high school at this point, then yeah, Miles Morales would have to be like at best freshman, like at the earliest you would think.
Yeah,
So like I don't know. I mean, but in Into the Spider Verse, he gets his powers at a very young age.
yeah,
So I mean, he was practically a kid in that.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
He literally was.
yeah, and that only just brings in like as far as like live action goes, is finding as far as acting goes, it's normally hard to get really good child actors. So, at least ones that can carry their own movie,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So,
literally be the backbone of the entire movie.
yeah. So, I mean, that would be the only thing that, it was interesting. I never really thought about the age dilemma to some capacity until you brought up the Tom Holland Eddie Brock thing, which I don't think is as, contingent on the Tom Holland, Peter Parker age and the Miles Morales age if they're gonna connect them, just because yeah, that is kind of, like, odd. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
because you can't have, what, 14-year-old Miles Morales running around, like, doing stuff as Spider-Man. It's just not I mean, you could have it like Batman has Robin doing stuff at a extremely young age in the comics, but,
Yeah.
like, it's always better when they age them up just so they're older, but it's
And those are
mainly
comics too
oh,
compared
exactly,
to
that's my point, like, in the comics, it's one thing, but in a live action movie, the I mean, child labor laws aside, it's mainly just the fact that, like, a child actor is not gonna be able to do as well of a job normally, like, there's always exceptions, but it's just gonna be harder to find a child actor out there who has the experience and enough raw acting talent to be able to carry
to
an
be
entire
Spider-Man,
movie,
like
yeah, to be Spider-Man and carry a movie on his own.
yeah,
That
definitely.
that would be the more difficult thing in my opinion at this point in time, especially with Tom Holland's Peter Parker still being in high school. Like, if they were to actually connect these things, if they were to make it to where it's completely separate and the Sony Venomverse is its own thing, and they were gonna introduce Miles Morales as the Spider-Man for it, I could see them aging Miles Morales up a bit. You
Yeah.
know, they wanna go ahead and say that he's the same age as, Tom Holland is playing, then, like, okay, you could do that. That'd be fine. And I
Yeah.
guess you could say he's the same age as Peter and just kinda go with it too if it is connected. That'd
Yeah.
be fine.
I mean, it doesn't have to be
Like,
exactly like the animated movie.
no. And like I said, I guess the age part isn't really a crucial factor in, like, the relationship between Peter Parker and, Miles Morales. It's more or less just like a coach and like a student more than anything. Like, 'cause
Yeah, yeah.
Miles just has no idea what's going on, and Peter's experienced that being Spider-Man. So is you could still have that dynamic between two people who are the same age because it's just someone is experienced doing it and someone just discovered they can do it.
Yeah.
So the
Him
age
kinda, like,
thing,
teach him and
yeah, you could still have the dynamic of like a pupil or something like that without them having to be 5 years younger or whatever. So
yeah,
I don't know.
because Peter's experienced with it, and
Yeah, I mean, because that's the biggest dynamic I think if you were going to connect Miles and Tom Holland's Peter Parker, you're going to connect them in any way. Just having that dynamic in place is more important than how old this dude is. The only
oh,
thing I would say is
definitely.
he probably shouldn't be older than Peter, but making him be
Definitely
the
not
same
older.
age would
Yeah,
be fine.
definitely not.
Yeah. I don't really know though if they would go the route of like not having Peter Parker as the Spider-Man in the Sony Venomverse, just because at first I would have told you it ain't gonna happen, and there's just not gonna be a Spider-Man
Yeah,
in the Venomverse because the MCU is using Spider-Man. Like, yeah, Sony is a character, but they made a deal, and like the deal is the deal. Like, they can't have if Marvel didn't want Sony like while they had the contract in place, if the deal they had wouldn't allow them to use Peter Parker, then Sony wouldn't be using Peter Parker.
yeah,
But like I said, with the Morbius trailer, that line is kind of blurred right now. It seems like they are like almost 100%, you could say, crossing over the MCU and the Sony Venomverse. I mean, we'll have to see once Morbius comes out, but the 100% confirmed. But the fact that that does seem to be the case, I think that makes it more unlikely that they're going to be introducing Miles Morales soon in the
yeah.
live action. I could see maybe, if I had to guess, I could see, how about this? Over under 35% that we will see live action Miles Morales in any capacity in the next 5 years. 35%.
35%?
Taking over or under.
Okay.
What do you think?
I'd be, like, right around the same spot probably myself.
You're gonna say there's a 35% chance. You're gonna say, is there? Do you think there's like more of a chance or less than 35% of a
I
chance?
think there's more of a chance, actually. So maybe, like, 50% chance.
So you're going. I would say in the next 5 years, I think over a 35% chance. I would say
Pretty good
two.
chance.
Like if you're gonna say in the next 2-3 years, no. I would probably say under a 35% chance that he'll be introduced into a live action movie.
Yeah, yeah,
But
definitely.
I'd say 5 years from now, I would take an over 35% chance we will see a live action Miles Morales.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, for
I
sure.
would think it would have to happen at some point.
Yeah, I mean, especially as if the popularity of the character continues to grow as it is right now, because they're gonna have Spider-Verse 2 coming out soon.
Mhm.
They're gonna have this Miles Morales game coming out soon. So if the popularity continues to grow, then it's just only gonna behoove Sony to lean more into the character.
Yeah,
And what
definitely.
better way to do that than introduce them into a live action world that they're already kind of setting up with, Venom and Tom Holland and all that stuff. So I think it'd be a good idea, personally. So I'm looking forward to it regardless either way.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I'm definitely looking forward to the game as far as the PS5 stuff goes.
That looks to be
Um,
the best game for
yeah,
PS5.
like I said, that and Demon Souls are
Demon's
probably the only
Souls.
two that
I don't know,
I'm
Goodbye
wanting to check
Volcano
out.
High looked pretty No, I'm just kidding.
Yep, Goodbye Volcano High too. We can't forget about that. We can't
Yeah.
forget.
You can't forget
No.
about it.
But yeah, we do actually have we did a reaction to a video to a bunch of the PS5 reveal trailers, so be looking out for that on the channel. You can go find that. So that was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Do you think Sony is actually looking to put Miles Morales into a live action role, or do you think they're just going to keep him in the video game and animated world for a bit? Whatever it is, let me know in the comment section below.